What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show today. Hopefully we got a good crowd as we're going to turn the page finally. I'm done with the Derby. How about you, Papa Dude?
I'm glad you are.
I'm finally done. I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. I've got to go on to something else. Thankfully they run a big race 2 weeks after the Derby.
I mean, let's bury it. I mean, how many times can we talk about, did Rich Strike get a good trip, and is he that good? And I mean, all of us saw it for ourselves. You know, we don't need to keep talking about it, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. And Davey's here with us. He said, let's get this party started. That's right. I think people are happy to go on to the Preakness. Brett's here with us as well. He said, good afternoon to everybody. And good afternoon to everybody watching for sure. Yeah, listen, you responded to a tweet, said, I wish somebody would have a podcast talking about bad beats or how they got into the game. Here's a bad beat for you. Being alive to the pick 4 and the pick 5 and Rich Strike winning the Derby when your two horses, one of two of the horses you were alive to looked home. That's a bad beat. Let's start with that.
That's as bad as beat as it gets. I don't know how you can feel much sicker than that. Because it looked like, especially if you had Epicenter, I mean, come on, you had to just be sick.
Yeah, Magic had him at 13-1 in the future wagers.
Oh, my God.
He wanted to throw up. He has not told me how much he had on him, but I do know he had him at 13-1. So
yeah, if you'd have had a bunch of money, well, any money really, holy cow. That would have been awful.
Patricia said, let the whining begin. No, that was it. That was it, Patricia. We're moving on. We're going to the Preakness. It's a new day. I can't anymore. All right, let's just do it. Let's get right to it. And speaking of Rich Strike, that's who we'll start with. So, all right, I'm going to go contender by contender. Now, this is the list that we have from Pimlico. Now, you may see something different out there. There's a lot of different lists floating around. But this is what we have, so this is what we'll go by to kind of start analyzing these horses for the Preakness and getting ready for the next jewel of the Triple Crown. And you have to start with Rich Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How are you going to approach Rich Strike in the Preakness?
Well, before I get started on that, we got Isaac up there. Isaac, hang on. We're going to talk about the NBA, but I'll answer your question first. Isaac is a huge Golden State Warriors fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether you watched any of it or are aware of what happened last night. Tell me, what happened to the Warriors last night?
Yeah.
That was a no-show.
Yeah.
As Isaac said, and this is harsh talk for him.
Yeah.
He's mad. He thought it was a joke. And I am too. And we'll get to that, Isaac, here in a little bit. I have no idea what happened. But let's get this horse racing done. Hang around and we'll get to it. Rich Strike, how am I going to approach it? Well, from the field that I'm looking at right now, I'm not going to leave him out. I was impressed with Rich Strike. And I don't know if a lot of people are saying it was a fluke, blah, blah, blah. Well, it might have been. But my eyes, and I'm not the horse racing experts that a lot of you are, but my eyes showed me that was a hell of a run by that horse. Why can't he do it again?
Right. Yeah. And actually we've got, I don't know if this is true or not, but this says Rich Strike has pulled out of the Preakness. Just tweeted by Marty McGee. So we could, that may not be the best horse to talk about here.
Well, do you think he would do that?
All right. I've got to look this up. You're going to go live to our Twitter feed here to make sure this isn't a fake before we go on to anything else. Yeah. Yes, here we go. Now tweeted by Byron King. So how about this? We'll break a little bit of news on the show today. right as we were talking about, and yes, Joey, I didn't doubt you. I just didn't want to say it for certain until I saw it with my own eyes. Right as we were talking about Rich Strike, he will pass the Preakness and run at the Belmont. So the only horse that has a chance to win the Triple Crown
Is not going to win the Triple Crown.
is now out.
I am shocked.
Me too.
I really am. He must not have come out of that very good.
Yeah.
And you know what the owner says? We don't run a race unless we think we're going to win it.
Yeah.
So they must not think they're going to win it. Huh.
Well, and Patricia's right about a lot. Well, pretty much all of this. The connections are very concerned about the welfare of the horse, and he never runs more than 5 weeks apart. Plus, that race is too short for him, and that's what the point I was getting. I had this great argument of why you cannot play Rich Strike in the Preakness. It's a little too short. I think he wants a little bit longer distance course. I don't think the pace was going to set up for him quite like it did in the Derby either. Yeah, and Patricia actually said that on Monday. I think you were on one of our shows and said that. So Rich Strike out of the Preakness.
Well, there's not very many horses that ran in the Kentucky Derby that are in the Preakness.
Yeah.
So are we looking at something that's going to happen before long where they're going to have to put a little bit of distance between the Derby and the Preakness?
Yeah.
I mean, it's starting to look like that, isn't it?
So let's kind of pivot towards this a bit, and we're going to kind of scrap. I mean, we'll still go through the Preakness Contenders, but this breaking news kind of changes the discussion, obviously.
Yes.
What does this do for the Preakness? How excited are you now? Like, the special thing about the Preakness is, obviously, the Triple Crown is always still on the line.
Exactly.
How do you feel about this Preakness now that the Kentucky Derby winner is not going to be?
Well, I'm a horse racing fan, so I will watch it. I mean, I'm still into it. But for 90% of the people in this country, no, the interest isn't there. I don't think.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think, there's a lot of us that follow horse racing closely and we're into it, but the majority of people aren't. And that's why I'm thinking this may force the horse racing industry to change this schedule a little bit. And, people are going, well, winning the Triple Crown is hard. It takes a lot of stuff. That's why it's so rare, people.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be hard. It is. I mean, you're not supposed to win a Triple Crown very often. That's what makes the Triple Crown. I mean, if we had a horse win the Triple Crown every year, would it be as good as what it is now?
No.
So it's supposed to be hard.
But the problem starts to become, I agree with what you're saying, and I also agree with the commenters. So I'm playing both sides of the fence.
Yeah, I get you.
The problem starts to become, if horses start to not even take a shot at it,
right,
then we have a problem, right?
That's what I was getting at too.
Okay.
Are we now going to have to make a change? Because it's going to hurt the industry if this continues.
Yeah.
Especially a horse like this that's come out of nowhere and is a special story.
Yeah.
And think of the hype that whatever network is carrying this. I don't know who carries the Preakness.
NBC.
Okay. Think of the hype they could have created. Come and watch this Cinderella horse and see if he can do it again. That's out the window now. And don't think that doesn't play a big part in this, because it does.
Yeah. Yeah. This is really deflating for me personally. And I'm not one that was going to bet him, but from the fan part of me, wanted to see, can he do it?
Well, that's right. Russ just said. Yeah. That was the whole story. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to have to make up some shit to make this interesting.
And we can do that. There's no question. We can do it here.
There's going to be all kinds of good stuff come out, no doubt about it. But we just lost a huge story.
Yeah, this is just
it hasn't been that long ago. Remember what it was like when Mind That Bird won the Derby and then came back, and that was a big. They hyped that up, and that horse ran his butt off in the Preakness.
Well, and it was going to be very similar of a Kentucky Oaks winner versus a Kentucky Derby winner. Now, obviously, Rachel Alexandra was way, way, way better than Secret Oath.
Right.
And I don't mean that as a disrespect to secret oath. That's just the facts. So, I mean, but it was Mind That Bird versus Rachel Alexander, and it was 2 weeks of just absolute, not chaos, but just hype, and everybody was excited.
It was,
and it felt like a lighter version of that, and now we're not going to get it. So.
I think, and I have no way of knowing, but I believe the ratings for this Preakness race, because of this story, would have been off the charts. I really do.
I've had a lot of people that don't have any interest in racing that have asked me, boy, did you like that Derby? Wow, what was that like to be at that Derby? I agree. I think we were heading towards a ratings extravaganza for the Preakness. I think people were really jacked up about it.
Yeah.
So for him not to be there, it's really deflating in a lot of ways. As far as people that are watching this channel and the comments that are coming in on the channel right now, people probably aren't too upset. I mean, they're going to bet it anyway. It's not that big a deal. Maybe maybe they wanted to bet him and they're upset. Yeah. Maybe they wanted to go against him. They thought he would take money and they're upset. But yeah, for the general public, this is bad.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Us degenerates, that follow this and are going to watch it no matter what. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But to Joe Blow down the street that just watched Triple Crown and watched the Kentucky Derby and thought, wow, this is unbelievable. That guy might bet on him.
Yeah.
Those kind of people would,
yes,
would bet on him. Jennifer makes a great point here. And this is exactly what the network, or if I was in charge of the network, would do.
Yep.
You're drawing out is Dwayne Lucas and Secret Oath. That's what you focus on now. There's your story.
Yeah, they're going to pivot towards that for sure. And that's the story. Like I said, can the girls beat the boys? And that's a story that sells. We've seen that over and over and over in racing. And so that's going to be the thing. And, gosh, I'm really surprised. Really,
well, we're
really
shocked because we were all set. Man, we've had this all booked out what we're going to talk about. And lo and behold, right here as we get started, this breaks.
It's pretty unbelievable that we had it all planned out. Okay, we'll start with Rich Strike. And then the first one, not the first, but one of the first comments is he's out.
I know. And now we've got to change on the fly, which we can do because we kind of planned all this on the fly like we always do.
Yeah.
So this is easy for us, but this is a story and I hate it. I really do. I wanted to see him run again. I thought it was, I wanted to see if he is as good as he ran that day. Cause since we had the show on Monday and I went back and watched that race 2 or 3 more times and I'm simply amazed.
Yeah.
Every time I see what that horse did.
Well, that's the thing. What if he did it again? And what if he was going for the crown? I mean, pretty crazy. What if he wins the Belmont somehow and he wins 2 of the 3 legs? I mean, that would be unbelievable as well to think that could just perceivably happen. And now we have to wait 5 weeks. And kind of, I think Russ said, it's like, I really just wanted to see, is he good or is he a fluke or like what?
Well did.
Yeah.
That was the story.
So,
and
man,
this is unbelievable. And I just a general question for you. How much of them keeping this race schedule the way it is? Now, it used to be, didn't they move the Belmont back another week a few years ago? Wasn't it a 2-week thing too?
No, for long as I've followed it, it's been 3.
Okay, well, it hasn't been for me. It was every 2 weeks after the Derby.
Yeah,
for a long time. I'm sure of that. So anyway, how much of this is tradition and just stubbornness to not change this? Because you'd have to put an asterisk by the winner. Oh, this was after we changed the schedule and all that. But here's the deal. We don't train. The horses are not trained the same today as they were back then. You just ran the horse. You just ran it. You didn't think about it. And now it's different.
I think if stuff like this keeps happening, we have a problem and it has to get corrected because I'm all for traditions, but this has been changed before. Hell, they used to run them even closer together way back in the day. To me, if horses are going to skip, and then maybe he comes out, well, what they're saying is we're just going to go to the Belmont and skip the Preakness. So if he's healthy, as far as he's got no injuries, there's nothing bothering him. it's a real kick in the teeth. So this is it's a major story in racing. It could be an industry problem that's going to have to get corrected, because you can't, if you're going to sell this as a Triple Crown, you have to have horses that are wanting to run in the races.
Well, look what we've got. We've got Epicenter. Secret Oaks didn't run in the Triple Crown, or didn't run the Derby. It ran in the Oaks the day before, so that counts. Simplification, Zandon, isn't that it?
Yeah,
and maybe Happy Jack.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Zandon's a maybe.
So you got maybe. 2 maybes, 3 definites. So you got 5 horses out of 20.
Yeah,
that have decided to run in the Preakness. And I would like to do, I bet you can do some research, and this may be as small of bunch to come out of the Kentucky Derbies as I can remember. This is not that many.
No.
Men are running the Preakness.
Right. Yeah.
And it's the training schedule that they're on now. It's a different setup. They train horses differently now. And it could be because these horses are worth so much more money now than they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
That may be something you have to take into consideration if you're in charge of horse racing. Hey, we're going to have to change something because the money that these horses can make these owners after they retire, these good ones, it's not worth the risk to get them hurt and run them that close together.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely a problem. And like Magic Carrots, do the Derby in May, Preakness in June, Belmont in July. I mean, you could do that, and it would probably be just fine. And I don't think people would argue at this point, because, I mean, if you're going to use this, I mean, if this is a thing that's going to start happening, you just have to change it, I think. There's just no way around it. And I was a proponent for a long time. No, don't change it. That's what makes it special. But I also don't want to see, 2 or 3 Derby horses and 9 or 10 new ones that just aren't very good. Because if you're running in the Preakness and you didn't run in the Derby, that means you're not that great. There's not very many times. There's a couple, and we'll talk about a couple in a second, that are decent, that just couldn't get in or they chose not to. But overall, you're talking about horses that really aren't that good.
Well, you are, because if you skip the Kentucky Derby, isn't that the race you want to run in the most if you're an owner?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and so if you're, exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing too. Like, you got a few in here that are going to be well rested, that are decent horses running in the Preakness. They have an advantage over these ones that have been in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I agree. Somewhere up through there, somebody said, well, American Pharaoh did it. Yes, right. And Justify did it too.
Yeah.
So it can be done. There's no questioning. We're not questioning that at all. And we don't know. Rich Strike may have some sort of an injury. That's a possibility. He may not have come out of the race right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find that out later.
If you believe the connections, there is no injury involved. He's fine. He came out of the race fine. They just want more time.
I don't believe him. So there you go.
Well, you could get into the conspiracy theories, or
no, I'm not in any conspiracy theory. I just don't believe him. I just don't. If that horse is okay, I couldn't turn that next race down. I just couldn't do it. I just don't think I could do it.
No, absolutely not.
You got a chance to make history.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they did. So and again,
and if they don't think he's ready, and they did it on the up and up, and more power to them, because they got a tip of my cap to him, because that took some stones, I'll tell you that, not to run him.
Oh, and especially these people are relatively unknown in the racing world. Obviously, I've discussed this before. A person like myself knows who all these people are, because I follow all these little tracks. But for the limelight they're getting, and boy, it'd be real tempting to just ride that roller coaster as long as you could.
Yes.
They basically jumped off the ride and said, we'll jump back on in 5 weeks. It's not like people are going to forget about him, but still, it took a lot of, like I said, just a lot of, I guess stones would be the best word.
Yeah. I mean, that's quite a deal. I'm pretty shocked.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he's in the Belmont in 5 weeks and runs, and we'll see how he does. So we'll pigeonhole him for another day, I guess. We'll talk about him in a few weeks. All right. Well, let's not completely punt on the Preakness.
Well, there won't be a Triple Crown winner. We now know that.
There will not be a Triple Crown winner this year. So if you voted or if you bet no on a Triple Crown winner, you are correct officially.
That's right.
Epicenter will be in the Preakness. We got that confirmation yesterday. He was going to be the favorite anyway. Is he even money to win this race by the time they go off now?
I think so. Don't you?
I do.
Yeah. I don't think Rich Strike would have beat him again anyway. If Zandon doesn't run, he may be 2-5.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I do. And Rodney Evans chimes in and he said earlier commenting he's newer to the game. So welcome, and I hope you're enjoying it. But his question is, why is everyone so high on Epicenter and not high on Secret Oath? Can someone break it down, please? Well,
I'm talking to the guy that can do it there, Rodney.
Epicenter, number one. Okay. All right. Let's break it down. Let's break down Epicenter first. He's been the most consistent horse amongst the 3-year-olds all season long. His speed figures are a little bit better than what Secret Oath has shown. Not a ton, but 5 or 6 points better, depending on what you look at. He had the Kentucky Derby in the bag and just got beat by kind of a fluke horse. But his running style is really good for the Preakness. He can sit close. He doesn't have to be on the lead. So he checks every box. When you look at Secret Oath, she's only beaten the fillies, and that sounds harsh, but you know, the Oaks is not the Derby. The fillies are not the males. She did face the males once and got third, and I think that's what a lot of people are looking at with her as well. The positives are new jockey, Luis Saez for the Oaks, came up and got a big win. She needs to be about 4-1 to Epicenter's even money. That's kind of the talent difference between the two. Right. She consistently is running lower buyers or any speed figure you look at. She's consistently running just a touch lower than what Epicenter has been able to produce. That's why you're going to see a lot more people that are high on Epicenter and not quite as high on Secret Oath. But we're going to get to Secret Oath in a second. Anything else to add on Epicenter?
No, that would be who I will pick. Because you say he almost won the Kentucky Derby, had it won.
Yeah.
And then the horse that came out of nowhere to beat him is not going to run against him this time. And Zandon is not 100% in either.
Yeah.
So I just don't see. Somebody said early voting. Yes, that's a speed horse, right? He'll get out, right? And he a speed horse.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So they'll have to go get him, and Epicenter cannot let him get out too far ahead.
Yeah.
But you said we're going to discuss Secret Oath later, so I'll wait on that.
Yeah, so let's jump right now to Zandon. He is 50-50 at best at this point. Of course, Zandon, a third-place finisher. Chad Brown also has early voting. We'll talk about him in a second. I think if Zandon was going to win one, it would have been in the Derby. I think he's another one, though, that would be right there. If he runs, what do you think of his chances?
Well, I really like him a lot, and I thought I could see him in Epicenter going head-to-head again. I really could.
Yeah.
Why? What would be any different? You know. And I want to Truth Exposed here, who knows a lot more of it about than I do, says it depends on how tired he is. Epicenter gets beat if he's exhausted. We're talking about a horse, not a human. I don't know that horses. I think 2 weeks. Asmussen's not going to work him very hard to get him ready for. I don't think he'll be tired. I really don't.
Well, if you look at Asmussen runners from the Derby to the Preakness, they usually show up and run pretty well. Remember, Curlin was a horse that was third in the Kentucky Derby, showed up and ran down Street Sense in an incredible race.
Yeah.
Last year, Midnight Bourbon ran in the Derby, showed up at the Preakness, ran a very good second.
Yeah.
And he didn't lose the race because he was tired. Rombauer freaked that day. If Rombauer hadn't run a career best race, Midnight Bourbon would have won the Preakness by multiple lengths.
No.
Epicenter will show up with a big one. Where I would worry about Epicenter is that next one, if they do the Belmont.
Oh, definitely. Because
then you're going to start seeing it. But that Derby to Preakness for these experienced trainers,
right?
On average, you can count on them to show up with a pretty good horse.
Shorter distance.
Yeah, you could say that about Chad Brown as well. Remember, Good Magic ran in the Derby. He wheeled him back in the Preakness. He ran pretty well. He ran toe-to-toe with Justified for a long time. So I trust that if Zandon shows up or if Epicenter will show up, they'll be ready. All right, on to the next one.
Playing the tired angle, I'm not doing that at all. That doesn't worry me one bit.
No, and listen, Curlin was not eased. He was running hard to the stretch. Midnight Bourbon was up and ran a long ways the Kentucky Derby. I don't agree at all with your logic. Epicenter will show up. I almost guarantee it. All right. I guarantee it as much as you can guarantee a horse showing up. If Epicenter doesn't show up with a good race, I will be shocked. I'll put it that way. But I was shocked on the first Saturday in May.
Well, yeah, I mean, shocked is not a word we use that now quite often.
Right, that's true. All right, the filly, Secret Oath, and Rodney asked about Secret Oath. Now we can talk about him. I want to get Shotty's comment up here because I absolutely agree. She said, see that race in the Arkansas Derby turned people off of her, and that was a mistake. You're right, Shotty, 100%. She got a bad trip in that one. Got a better ride, better trip, and beat the girls in the Kentucky Oaks. Going to face the boys again. What do you think of her chances?
Well, here's what gives me hope in this. I believe she beat some high-quality fillies in the Kentucky Oaks. That was a strong field. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I agree with Shotty completely. I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the way she ran in the Arkansas Derby, and I just thought she wasn't as good as what the hype. I did, and I kind of forgot about her. Yep. And she ran in the Oaks like she did in the two other stakes races she won at Oaklawn. She turned for home, and it was over.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Epicenter is fantastic. I really don't. I don't think Zandon's fantastic. There's not an American Pharaoh in this bunch.
Yeah.
She's got a chance. I really believe. I think she has the talent to do it. She may just keep getting better and better as the year goes along. And I think she'll definitely hit the board. I really do in this crew that she's with. I think he'll have her ready. He's another guy. He's done this a few years. He knows how to get these horses ready for the Preakness coming out of the Kentucky Derby. He's done it a few times. She'll be ready to go. I like her chances.
Let me speak on what you just said. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what happened between the Arkansas Derby and the Kentucky Oaks. I don't know if it's training. I don't know. Maybe she wasn't doing quite as good going into that Arkansas Derby. She walked by us in the Arkansas Derby, and I looked at Jerry and I said, she's not the one, man. She looks like a normal filly. She walked by us in the Kentucky Oaks. I thought, that's a winner. She looked so much better. And I don't know, maybe she had a little issue and maybe she wasn't quite 100% for the Arkansas Derby. She looked great. And if she looks great in 2 weeks, I think it's a mistake to leave her off a ticket. I don't think she's quite fast enough. I still don't think she can run down a horse like Epicenter, but hitting the board, I definitely think she can do it. I think she can compete with some of these others. And you look at it, there's a lot of other ones now that, if Xander doesn't show up, Rich strikes out, I mean, she's right there with a shot.
Oh, I think so too. And I think 4-1, you're probably going to get. The more I think about it, now that Rich Strike is out, this is going to be the story.
Yeah.
It's going to be D. Wayne Lucas at 86 years old with his last chance to win a Triple Crown. Maybe his last chance to win a Triple Crown race. That's going to be the angle that we're all going to play.
With a filly, no less. So
yes.
Be pretty incredible. All right, let's move on. This is a horse everybody's forgetting about. Simply just ignoring. Simplification ran fourth in the Kentucky Derby. He didn't get the best of trips. He's consistent every damn time this horse shows up. You never know if he's going to come from way up from the back or be on the lead. He's always around. He's always hitting the board. He's already at Pimlico. He already shipped up there. What are your thoughts on Simplification? Will he be ignored again? It kind of feels like he's going to be.
Oh, there's no doubt he will.
Yeah.
And I think that the trainer is part of it. He's well known. if you follow horse racing closely, and he does a great job, but a lot of people don't know who he is. I think the fact that he doesn't win a whole bunch, you know what I mean? He's
Yep.
always close, but he never wins. Well, I can't say he never wins. He's 3 for 8.
Yeah.
But, he's last 2 races, 3rd, 4th, ran really well.
Yeah.
I
Been
think
beaten by horses that haven't really gone on to do a lot.
Exactly.
Right? Barrio didn't do much.
Right.
Anyway, go ahead.
He's definitely one, though, that probably what do you think, 6 to 1, 8 to 1?
I think so. Yep.
That's one you better look at and put on your ticket, I think, because he always runs well. 4th place in the Derby's nothing to sneeze at. So, he beat a lot of really good horses to finish 4th, and he always seems to run about the same. So he's a very consistent horse that's going to be there. You're not just going to blow him off the track.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's move on here. I totally agree with him. He's one I'm going to use underneath for sure. All right, early voting now for Chad Brown.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting.
He's. Can you put up his races there?
Yes, let me do that right here. Yep.
All right. He's only ran 3 times.
Okay, lightly raced.
Mm-hmm.
Skipped the Derby to point for this.
Yes.
So he's coming in fresh. Okay, take this one on for size, and there you go. Early voting. Here's my other pick, says Rodney Evans.
Mm-hmm.
We had a speed meltdown in the Kentucky Derby. Total catastrophe.
Yep.
You're probably going to get an overcorrection in this race. I think they let this horse go. I don't think he'll have to run real fast to get this lead anyway with the other horses that are entered.
No.
Gate to wire, Oxbow style. That's who early voting kind of reminds me of. I think he's got a shot.
He does. I don't think they can let him get too far ahead.
If they let him get too far ahead, I don't know that they'll catch him.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And I think these trainers are smart enough, to know that. And so he's got all the credentials, great trainer, well rested, pointed for this. I guess they figured he couldn't win the Kentucky Derby. It's just not worth putting him in there.
Yeah.
Has done nothing wrong, finished 2nd in the Wood Memorial to Zandon, right?
No, Mo Donegal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mo Donegal. That's a pretty good horse.
Yeah.
And he is going to be a factor. He'll have to be. If Zandon doesn't run, then again, he's going to move up the ladder as far as the morning line goes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rodney says, the problem is, or his fear is, what was the competition like?
Well, sure.
He was defeated by Mo Donegal. Mo Donegal was 5th in the Kentucky Derby, and a lot of people have commented, and if we have a video about Mike and I did about the trip notes, and if Mo Donegal gets a little bit cleaner of a trip, meaning he's not 12 wide on the turn, I don't know that he wins the Kentucky Derby like a lot of people think. He certainly is right there with a shot.
Well,
he's in the mix. If he gets Rich Strike's trip, he probably does win. I guess I will say that.
Well,
but
yeah. And talking about the competition, I don't see a whole lot of competition in this race.
If Zandon doesn't go,
right,
basically now you've got Epicenter, who's very good.
Yes,
you do have the Kentucky Oaks winner, but it's a filly who has not. She hasn't had those super impressive speed figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Simplification. He's a horse that he's kind of shown if you run a really, really good race, you'll beat him.
Yep.
And that's really not a knock on him. That's just kind of what it says about it, like how he kind of presents himself.
Yep. And what else?
I don't know that it's going to be tougher to win the Preakness than the Wood. I'm not saying that, but it's not that big of a step. It's a step, but it's not that big a one. The key, though, is if they let him get out on his own, he would be very tough to run down.
Well, let's look at some of these others. Rattle and Roll, if he runs. Yep. Early voting, can't beat Rattle and Roll.
Rattle and Roll to me is a complete toss.
Yeah. Shake 'em loose.
Shake 'em loose. Here he is. He finished 3rd in the Tessio. Complete toss.
Definitely. I didn't even look at him. Skippy Longstocking, stupid name. He's not going to win.
Skippy Longstocking, and I'll put him up here. Last time out was third to early voting in the wood, way behind. I don't think that's a problem.
Has Skippy even won a stakes race? No. Throw him out.
Yeah.
The one with one eye.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to run.
Okay, well, he ain't going to win anyway.
Yeah.
And then Happy Jack, maybe.
No, and Happy Jack's a maybe to run as well.
He's won one race.
Kenny McPeak's horse that won on Kentucky Derby undercard. I mean,
and it was an allowance, right?
I'll take my chances trying to beat him.
I don't think you'll put him on a ticket. Will you?
I don't think so.
No. So what have you got? You got Epicenter. You got Secret Oath. You got Simplification. If Sandin is out. And then you got early voting. Why the hell can't he win? What is so damn good about this competition? It's not that good. I'm telling you. Right now it's not, unless some more enter. Somebody else enters.
So this I want to address, because he said, aren't we doing the same thing we did with the Derby winner by throwing them out and dismissing them completely?
Not necessarily, because he didn't get in there until Friday.
Well, here's the deal. If you're going to base your handicapping going forward on the Kentucky Derby, you're going to lose a lot of money.
Go ahead and throw Skippy Longstocking in there.
Please do.
And if he wins, you're going to do the same thing.
You have to take that race and forget it. That kind of stuff does happen, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But very, very, very oftentimes, it's either the logical horse wins or a horse that's a longer price, but still you can get to that horse. Say like, I'm just going to throw out a name, just random, like Cyberknife, for example. Okay, say he wins the Kentucky Derby at 30 to 1 or 20 to 1, whatever he was. Well, he won the Arkansas Derby. He had won 2 races in a row.
He had done something.
Yeah, you look at that and you go, okay, what could we learn from this?
Yeah.
Zozos. Well, God, he was second in the Louisiana Derby. He was getting better. I'm trying to think of there was many logical horses. Smile Happy, a horse that's like finished second twice. He was running pretty well. No, you don't take anything away from the Kentucky Derby when Rich Strike wins.
Mm-mm.
As far as wow, what do I need to do to handicap better? It's just sometimes you get beat by horses that don't make any sense. And all these people, they're like, oh, I knew it. Oh, I had him because of this or this. No, those are people that are using really bad handicapping angles, and eventually you'll get all their money back if you just do things logically in the right way.
I think those are people that just bet a long shot, put $5 on him. That's what.
Well, but I saw a lot of people like, I just bet him. I bet breeding. Well, first of all, he wasn't the only horse in the race that could go 1.25 miles for the breeding purposes.
No.
And let me be clear, I'm not being an asshole. I'm telling you the truth. I'm in the game 365 days. Well, 364. We don't run on Christmas. 364 days a year, and I know, like, people who bet Rich Strike, that's like, as a handicapper, a guy that does this for a living, that's what you want. You want those people, right? Yeah. And so, no, we're not making the same mistake. We didn't really make a mistake in the Kentucky Derby. You can't. It's an 80 to 1 shot. I mean, you can't do anything about it. And
by him not running in the Preakness, that's what ruins the Preakness so much.
Yeah.
No, because that story is now gone.
Yeah. But it's just, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing about it. That definitely hurts the thought process now for the Preakness, for sure. But, like I said, we'll be excited this time next week. Again, I went on a rant there. I don't want to make it sound like you were dumb if you bet him or this or that, but I'm not going to never throw out a horse again because of one race that happened. There were 27 races over the weekend, right?
Yeah.
There was only one that was 80 to 1.
Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those things that happened, and it was fabulous. And like I said, I laughed out loud when I realized it was him, and that wasn't because I thought it was funny. It was just, holy cow, all that work to put in to handicap a race, and here comes a horse that wasn't even in the race until Friday.
And this is fine. If you want to throw out the horse won by 18 and you couldn't see that angle. Look, if you want to bet $30,000 maiden claimers,
Yeah.
grade 1 races,
Yeah.
the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Please do that.
Yeah.
Please. I don't care if they won by 18, 28, 58. Please do it.
Yeah. Or as JR said, he bet him with 8 other.
Okay. Now let me clarify.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does.
If
Throw
you
that
back
long shot in
wheeled, if you put it all over Epicenter and all over,
You bet.
a horse that was logical second, that makes sense. There's ways you cash
Yeah.
that you could use logical betting angles from a hitting, or if you're like, okay, I've got 5 horses in this try. Let's just throw in one more. Oh, I've got a lot of favor. Just throw in that 80 to 1. Maybe he'll hit the
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what JR said he did. And
Yeah.
I respect people like that.
Yeah.
I don't respect the ones that come up to me and say, I knew that horse was going to win.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I don't like. I can't, But if you throw him in on a long shot because he's 80 to 1, sure.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
This is see, like my sister hit it and betting names.
Oh,
yeah, that's like, I'm not saying that's bad or
No.
I hate that. It's just
A lot
like
of people do that.
that's how you hit horses like this.
That's what we're trying to point out. Yes.
Yeah, that totally proves what I'm saying. It's just like, it's I hit them. Good, great, right? So
Yeah.
Well, this is the deal. This horse will improve and win by 20 at Belmont. That's the prediction. What do you think? Rich Strike, he's going to win the Belmont by 20?
I think he's talking about. Is that who he's talking about?
That's who he's talking about. Yeah.
Rich Strike will win by 20 at the Belmont.
Yeah.
I'll take that bet right now against that.
Yeah.
Not very many win by 20 at the Belmont. So
Right.
I'll go with that right there. So he may win. I'm not going to say he might not win, but I don't think by 20, no.
He said he had Smarty Jones because he watched him break his maiden. He was 15 to 1. He won by 15. Well, Smarty Jones also went on to win a whole lot of other races before the Kentucky Derby.
He was pretty good.
He was a bit easier to get to.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else we're missing? We went through all of them. Listen, post positions don't make a ton of difference here. So I can ask you this, and I don't know that it'll change. But as of right now, after who we have went through here, who do you like to win the Preakness?
I got to go with Epicenter. I just think he's the best horse in the field. And I know he'll come in ready to run. I know Asmussen will have him ready. I like him. I don't know if Zandon's going to run. Then I really like early voting. Somebody's going to have to go get him. And so I've got to throw him in there. And I think Secret Oath will hit the board. I really do. So that's my top 3. If Zandon's in there, that would be my top 4. The only one that really worries me about coming in and screwing everything up is Simplification.
Yeah.
So I'd have to think about him, but I don't think Simplification will win. I don't think he'll win.
We had a question about Un Oho. The deal is he is on the probables list. I haven't seen a work from him in a while. That's what I'm worried about. So he's on the possible list, I should say, not the probable list.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on him. I think he came out of that Arkansas Derby pretty banged up. I mean, he had the stitches. Maybe he didn't come out of it just the greatest. That's just me speculating. I don't know anything for sure, to be clear.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I haven't seen a workout from him. We'll see, Joe. If he's in, maybe he can hit the board, right? Maybe he can run up there and hit the board. I don't think I think that's his ceiling.
Yeah. I will say this too. If Epicenter doesn't win the Preakness, I don't think he'll run in the Belmont. I think he'll hold him out.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, he may hold him out anyway. I don't know if he'll run him out. So, so
JR, I have no worries about Epicenter being exhausted or having too much taken out of him. I don't worry about that at all. Yeah,
I don't either. We kind of addressed that a little bit earlier. He may not have been here, but when you look at Asmussen, he usually has them ready to run a pretty good Preakness after the Derby. His horses have kind of shown up. So, look, though, he's going to be even money.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to find some angles where possibly he doesn't show up with his best race? That is one argument. I don't.
Well, I guess you're going to have to decide,
Yeah.
is he that solid a favorite?
Yeah.
At even money like Jackie's Warrior was.
I think, JR, if you're looking to go against him, I think the best way you could go against Epicenter and make a case here is not that he's coming back too soon. He just lost to Rich Strike.
Yeah.
He has lost. He lost to Call Me Midnight earlier in the year. So he's shown he can lose races to horses he shouldn't lose to, right?
Yeah, but I'm not going to count that Rich Strike thing against him.
He did lose. You have to count it against him.
You can go ahead and say that, but I'm not using that against him. So everybody else did too. So that whole field got beat by that horse.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
The other one, yes.
You're taking him at a short price.
Yeah, what you're saying, Aaron, and you and I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
When you get that short price, the first thing you got to think of is he worth it?
Yeah.
Is he worth going and putting $100 on him? And is he that good? And in my opinion, the answer to that would be no. I don't think he's worth betting a bunch of money on at even money.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
No, I agree. He's not like let's see.
He's not like Jackie's Warrior.
No. Well, that's a great, out of the same barn, great point. Jackie's Warrior was even money in that Churchill Downs Stakes. And I was like, just bet how much you want to bet.
Yeah.
This horse is not that.
No.
Right. Yeah. No. That's a really good.
It's not like Pharaoh was in the Belmont.
Yeah.
I don't know what Pharaoh went off at.
No, he's not Pharaoh. He's not Justified. Mm-hmm. You're betting Epicenter at even money. More so, at least going into this race, more so thinking the competition isn't going to be good enough to beat him.
Yes.
I think he's the best horse in this crop right now, but I also think it's wide open for somebody to come up and take that from him.
Right. And that's why you don't bet a whole ton of money on him at even.
Yeah.
Money.
The flip side of it is Zandon came up to him, looked like he's going to get by him, and he dug in and kind of, he didn't re-break, but he kind of started to separate from him. So
he did, and I thought he was beat. I did.
I did too. And well, he was, just not by that horse. But
no, I thought Zandon was going to beat him.
Yeah. But again, too much too soon. Go, Curlin, Midnight Bourbon, horses that came out of the Derby ran pretty well. Honestly, Asmussen, for these owners, I don't think they would push the horse. They're pretty patient. I don't think they'd push that horse to that race unless he was doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Those are long time owners. Moody, you asked how was Zandon's trip in the Derby. Samich and I did the trip notes, and it was fantastic. A fantastic trip. He sat about 11th or 12th. He saved all the ground. Pratt just followed Epicenter as they made their moves, and he was right there with a chance. Zandon had no excuse from a trip standpoint. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect. So,
yeah.
All right. Any other Preakness thoughts before we move on to our last segment here with the sports?
No, I think that's we'll cover that again Monday, I'm sure. We'll be back. Who knows who's going to be in there on Monday?
Well, it's not going to be Rich Strike. We do know that.
Yeah. So. Golly. That's a start.
You can bet that okay, we got Magic Mike coming on at 4 p.m. Central, and then Blinker's Off will be after that around 6:30 or 7 Central. You can bet we're going to talk a lot more as we have kind of fully digested the fact that Rich Strike, the Kentucky Derby winner, is not going to be in the race.
By the time Blinker's Off comes along, you and Jared will have a whole new conspiracy going on this deal, probably.
That's true. Well, I'll end the horse racing talk with this. Jared did not take the loss as well as I took it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So he's even more upset than I am that Rich Strike is not in the race. My phone's blowing up and he's really pissed off. So you might tune in to Bleakers Off. Shawty, great question. Haven't announced it yet. Yes, Preakness live streams are coming back, very similar to Derby live streams. We will be live starting tomorrow. So we'll be live tomorrow. And then we will be live Monday for the draw all the way through Thursday. We may even do Friday. We may even do all those days. And then Saturday, we will have a live Preakness stream, just like we had a live Derby stream. So yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We loved having those shows, and Magic texted us the other day. I said, yep. Oh yeah, we're doing that. So yes, tune in for that for sure. Yeah, as Magic says, wait. Jared didn't take losing a bet well while he was drinking at the track. This is my shock face. It took Jared, I think he was over it the next day, about halfway through our trip. He finally started to okay, it's okay. It's going to be okay, So,
well, yeah, that's when you just forget.
See, and that's the thing. As soon as they cross the wire, and everybody's, I'm not saying I'm better, he's better, whatever. Everybody's different. But as soon as they cross the wire, I was just like, all right, well, where are we going to eat, guys?
Yeah.
And Jared's like, his soul is crushed. And I'm like, well, I mean, the horse we picked never picked up his feet one time the whole race. So it's not like we got heartbroken. He looked like an idiot. As soon as they hit the turn and they asked him he wouldn't run, I was like, wow, that's horrible. And then you're watching and it's like, oh, well, now an 80-1 shot just won. So
yeah,
let's just get out of here.
Just enjoy it. I mean,
like, it's been a great day until this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's leave. And thank God we bet Jackie's Warrior and speak of the devil. Let's get the hell out of
Well,
here.
I always think of this too. When a horse wins like that, and of course I didn't pick him, I always say, well, nobody else picked him either. So I wasn't the only. No one saw that.
Well, several people picked him according to our comment section.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes. All the dudes will be on this live stream. We actually had a discussion. And boy, this is going to show the dedication to the people. We had a discussion on the way home, and we said, that live stream did so well, but we felt sorry because Magic, he had some guests and they did okay, but Magic was alone a lot of it. And it's so from now on, when it's a huge day, like the Preakness, obviously, all the dudes will try to be on there as much as possible. Yes. So we'll have all the dudes on Saturday. All right. That's it. That's all I can talk about racing.
All right.
Okay, let's move on quickly here. I expected that. I know Magic was a beast on the live stream. He always is a beast. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
I expected that to go about 35 minutes, but then Rich Strike scratched.
Yeah, that changed the whole show.
Changed the whole show. So now we'll talk hockey. It'll be a little shorter, but we'll still do it, and then we'll talk basketball as well. All right, Papa Dude, we told the people.
Yes.
These NHL first round playoffs are going to be unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
7 of the 8 series are into a game 6.
That's right.
4 of those game 6s are tonight.
Tonight.
One of them I've been nervous about ever since game 5 ended. We'll get to that one in a second. But Carolina, Boston, let's start with that. Can Boston extend the series, I should say, to the 7th game tonight?
Try picking these games that I do every day.
Yeah.
And try to dream up angles that make sense.
Right.
It's impossible. So you have 4, as you said, series tonight, all game 6s. Let's see. 2 of the teams can close them out on the home ice.
Yep.
1 can even the series. 2 of them can even the series tonight on home ice. So, to me, if I'm just watching and I'm not invested in any teams, I'm not rooting for any of these teams. I'm not going to say that because it's going to jinx them. I would think the Blues game would be the easiest to pick tonight.
Yeah.
But I know the Blues, so it's not the easiest to pick tonight. So I went with the best bet of the day, Carolina and Boston. And I went with the Hurricanes because I just think they're better than Boston. And I thought they won a critical game 5 when I wasn't sure they were going to. And they won fairly easy. And to me, they're better than Boston. I think they have a better team. So I went with them as the best bet of the day. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't bet a nickel on any of these games tonight. So to me, that's for me anyway, that was my easiest one. The two hardest for me have been the two hardest for me the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's Toronto and Tampa and the Oilers and the Kings. I have got no feel on that Oilers-Kings game series at all. I thought when Edmonton came back and tied it the other night, I thought they would win in overtime, and they didn't. So I don't really like them right now in that situation. With the Maple Leafs and the Lightning, I flip a coin. I just flip a coin because I have no freaking idea in that one. That is a great series between two great teams. And it's a shame one of them's going out in the first round. It's just a shame. I went ahead and took the Lightning tonight simply because it's at home. And when I flipped the coin, they came up. And that's how I bet about every one of those games. It is just that close. I think Toronto's a little better. I don't know about you. I think they're a little better. So then we'll talk about the Blues here in just a minute. So who you got tonight in the Carolina game?
I'm going to go Carolina. I think they end it tonight. I think they're a better team. I don't think they mess around.
You kind of feel like I do.
I think they end it tonight. Yeah.
Okay. You think they're better? And
yeah,
I do too. I was impressed with them in Game 5. I thought they might choke in Game 5, and they didn't.
I think they're solid. I think they're just a team that full of solid players. You don't really realize how good they are, and you watch them, and I mean they were just dominant. And I think they end it tonight in Boston. I go Carolina.
Okay. Now, are you still riding the Tampa Bay train?
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa Bay tonight for sure. We'll see Game 7. I thought they would win Game 5. Boy, they got up 2-0. They looked like they were going to win that thing. Didn't get it done. I'm gonna go Tampa though. I think they force a Game 7. This feels like a 7-game series to me.
And I was very impressed with Toronto in Game 5 because they got behind, like you said, 2-0, then took a 3-2 lead, and Tampa tied it pretty late at 3. And I thought, oh my God, they're in big trouble. And they got that fourth goal and hung on. Aren't you impressed with them, with Toronto?
Oh, very much, yeah. But Toronto has been in a situation before.
Oh, I know.
Hasn't been able to close the door. Listen, to me, this Toronto team is the better of the two teams.
I think so too.
They have stars. They have speed. They have great skill on the back end. They don't have a goalie. I don't trust him. In a Game 7, that could get scary for sure. But this is a really good team.
It is. And if they go to Game 7, oh my God.
Yeah.
The pressure is going to be on there. That's just a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Now, you've not liked Edmonton all along.
Yeah, if you want to jump to the Edmonton series,
that one. We'll save the Blues for last.
The Edmonton series is over. LA wins tonight.
I picked them also tonight.
Another goalie that just has been weak, I feel like, and he gets some soft goals. Edmonton's they're a soft team. I haven't liked them all year. They're a soft team. I'm with Magic. They're going to fire Ken Holland after this thing. I'm definitely going with the Kings tonight.
I went with them too, simply because I trust Jonathan Quick in big games. He plays pretty well. And even though he is getting older, this is a big game. And that leads us to the one where our hearts are invested in. And I thought the Blues were fantastic in Game 5. Showed a lot of guts. I told Sandy, I said right before the end of the second period, if we can just get a goal and tie this thing, I think we're going to win it. And they did. And then they took care of business in the third period and dominated like good teams do. So the key to the Blues, we all know what it is. Goaltending and how well will the back line play. Yeah. And stay out of the penalty box. Because when Minnesota's on the power play, Kaprizov is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And the Minnesota was 2 for 2 on the power play in the first period. The Blues never got a penalty the rest of the game, and they shut them down. So those are the keys tonight.
Yep. So the big news tonight out of Minnesota, Cam Talbot in the net tonight for the
Is
Wild.
that right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a pretty ballsy move, and I think it's a good one because we've seen Fleury for 5 games, and they kind of know his tendencies. So you throw a different guy out there, it could throw you off a little bit. Now, from my perspective, I'm glad to hear that.
From a Blues fan perspective, I'm very glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I am. I don't think Cam Talbot's going to be the answer tonight. It's all about the Blues tonight, in my opinion. And it's all about Jordan Binnington. You hit it. Listen, the Blues are healthy on the back line again, and that's all that really needed to happen. And now they have to get the goaltending. They're going to win the series. They're going to win this game tonight.
Too. And that's the key. And he's played as solid can be in the 2 games. There is no reason for him not to have confidence tonight and to not come out and play well. And if they'll stay out of the penalty box, they can't get those stupid penalties.
Yeah. The big thing
go ahead.
The big thing with Kaprizov, and I know you probably noticed it too, he absolutely was dominating, and he's dominated the series. He's the best player on the ice.
Yeah, he has 7 goals. He's something else.
He's unbelievable. I wish the Blues had him. But they matched him up with Braden Shin in the middle of the second period through the third period. And Braden Shin didn't even focus on anything other than punishing Kaprizov. He hit him, and he hit him, and he hit him. And that's what the Blues can do. They've got a great defensive line with Shin, O'Reilly, and Perron. That'll be the matchup tonight. Watch number 10, Braden Shin, matched up against Kaprizov, 97 for Minnesota.
And the other thing is on home ice, you get the last change. So they can get that matchup when they need it.
Yep.
I wrote my article today. That's exactly what I wrote. The Blues are going to do everything they can to shut him down, and it's up to Minnesota for somebody else to step up and score.
They can't. I don't think if they hold Kaprizov without a goal, the Blues are.
They're going to win.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a huge game. They've got them right where they want them. We've seen this before with the Blues. They struggle to close teams out on home ice, and that's the fear of all of us that have watched the Blues over the years. Can they close them out when they got them by the throat? And we'll see. This is a good hockey team. They're good, and they're experienced. And here's the other thing: to stay out of the penalty box, that makes so much difference. When you're not in the penalty box, your best players are on the ice more.
Right.
Tarasenko plays more because he doesn't play on the penalty kill. And you got to have them out there. So that is a key. Don't come out tonight, guys, and think you got to throw your weight around and knock them around and get cheap penalties. Play disciplined, play your game, and I think they win.
The Blues have them. If they don't win tonight, it will be. I'm not gonna say I'm shocked, but it'll just.
No, you won't be shocked.
No, I won't be shocked at all. But it'll just be like, how did you lose? The Blues. Here's the difference. Minnesota has the best player. Okay, it's not close. That guy is an
player. Yes.
Yeah. The Blues have the best team.
They do.
And right now, the Blues have the best goalie. And we talked about it before the series started. What team's going to get the best goaltending? He's probably going to win. Jordan Binnington has been the best goalie once he got into the series. He's been fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the Friday games. Like I said, there's 3 more game 6s, and they'll be Friday. Rangers, Penguins. Looked like the Penguins were going to close out the Rangers last night. They didn't do it.
They did.
Will they close it out at home in game 6?
Well, that was a great comeback by the Rangers. I thought they were dead.
Yeah.
And they played like the Rangers in the last period and a half and really looked good. They're better, I think, than Pittsburgh. Could that have turned the series, you think? We've seen it before.
It's possible.
The teams come back from 3-1. Not very often, but they do in hockey. A lot more than they do in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell you what, Pittsburgh better damn well win tonight or they're in big trouble. So not tonight, tomorrow night. Haven't really analyzed it yet. I haven't picked Pittsburgh much in this series. Is their goaltending problem maybe starting to come to the front? It's possible.
Neither team's gotten any goaltending in this series.
Well, he was the Rangers goalie was pretty good after they got the lead.
Yeah. He hasn't been good in the series.
No, he has not. He has not played well. And he's the reason where they're at in the regular season. He was really good.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been. So maybe he needed that one last night.
Yeah.
Speaking of comebacks,
I think Pittsburgh gets it done. I think
then it goes. They might. The Rangers are iffy. They're iffy.
Yeah. He is up for both the Vezina and the Hart. He has not been good.
Right.
He was incredible in game one. After that, he has not been that good. Panthers and the Capitals. Boy, the Panthers.
Talk about a comeback.
Panthers have been on the brink a couple of times. They've showed a lot of heart, a lot of guts, however you want to phrase it, being able to be up 3-2 here going into Washington tomorrow night. I kind of feel like the Panthers are going to put them away. What do you think?
I've said that before too, and I agree with you. This series could easily be over.
Oh, yeah.
They made a remarkable comeback in game 4. They were down 2-1, scored late, won in overtime.
Yep.
And they're down 3-0. You could hear a pin drop in that arena last night when it was 3-0. And even when they scored to make it 3-1, it wasn't very loud. I mean, those fans, I don't imagine there's a whole lot of hockey experts in Miami, Florida.
No.
Probably not. And they probably are sitting there thinking, we suck, we have no chance. And even when they made it 3-1, they probably felt the same way. But, man, they turned it on. And I'm with you. How do the Capitals – they've lost 2 straight. They could have easily won.
Yeah.
They're tough, but really they're not that great, They're just not. They've played a hell of a series. You got to give them a tremendous amount of credit. I think Florida gets by them also tomorrow. And I think if Florida can get through this first round, a lot of pressure is going to get off of them because I don't think we've seen the real Florida team yet in these playoffs.
No, they've played pretty tight. I think that game's just that could get out of hand. I think the Capitals have got to be about done after that.
I would think so.
Finally, this series has been a good one too. If you like tight checking hockey, it's been fantastic. The Calgary Flames, the Dallas Stars, it's now 3-2. Calgary, another comeback. They were behind going into the last period and won. They go to Dallas to try to close out the Stars. I kind of think the Stars force a game 7. This has been a tight series here. I think we're going back to Calgary. What about you?
I tend to agree with you. The problem is this is in the Western Conference, and most of us can't stay up till midnight till the end of these games. I can't stay awake, and the Blues have been on opposite. Well, not this series, but what was the other one opposite this?
Colorado and Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah.
But unless I'm really interested in a game, I can't stay awake. So these Western Conference playoffs don't start till 8:30 here, 9:30 on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of it, and you're right. It's tight checking. It's hard to get in there short range for goals. Goals are at a premium. I thought the Flames showed a lot of guts winning game 4 in Dallas, and then again fell behind last night and came back and won. They're the better team. Dallas's goaltender has been fantastic, and the Stars are hard to beat. So I'm going to probably tend to agree with you. I think they send this thing back to Calgary for a game 7.
Yeah, I think we end up with 2 or 3 game 7s. I don't think we're going to have 7 of them, but
and this is just the first round, folks.
And really, when we did the preview show, you can go back and watch. We said Colorado will dominate. And all the rest of these are going to be close. And then here we are. It happened. Colorado, Nashville is no match for Colorado, but these other ones have just been incredible.
It has.
All right, let's move on to the NBA. Here they're in their second round. It's been good. And we've got game 6s everywhere as well in the NBA. Tonight, we've got the Heat and the 76ers. It's 3-2 Miami going into this one. Do the 76ers force a game 7?
Well, no one has won on the other team's home floor yet. Now, I watched quite a bit of Game 5, and Embiid looks hurt to me. He did not look good at all. I think he's hurting. I picked the Heat to win tonight. I like the Heat a lot. I thought they played great in Miami and shut them down. I think they're tougher. It won't surprise me, though, if Philly wins. Uh, if Embiid is healthy, I don't know whether he is. He was either not interested or tired, or he just didn't look right the other night. The Heat beat them by like 30, and they didn't shoot like a team winning by 30. But when you hold somebody to 80 points in the NBA, you're going to win by 30 most of the time. I think they're better, so I went with them tonight. I think they close them out tonight. I think it'll be tight, but I think
I did the same thing. I went with Heat tonight. I think they're just a better team overall. This series has been interesting. The Suns and the Mavericks. Suns do have the lead 3-2, same situation. Can the Mavericks force a game 7 tonight on their home floor? I kind of think Phoenix will get the job done, but I'm not as confident as I thought I would be.
I'm not either. Dallas has played terrible in Phoenix, but they played well at home.
Yeah.
And if you go through it, and I'm sure you're busy with horse races, so you don't have time to go through it like I can. Dallas's role players have played bad in Phoenix, but they've played good at home, and they've given Luka enough support to win at home. And Phoenix has not played very well in Dallas. They rolled them in game 5. And the thing, I went with Phoenix also, because 2-point spread, Phoenix, you gotta go for them. You got to take that, because they can beat anybody anytime. So my theory is you kind of got to take that. If it's 6 points, you go the other way, or maybe even 4. You might go the other way. And the thing about that game the other night in Phoenix, Chris Paul only scored 8 points. The other angle to play with Phoenix tonight, and we all know Chris Paul is as big a competitor as there ever's been. His family got yelled at or made fun of, or there was an altercation after the game. He played probably the worst game of his life in game 4 in Dallas. I think he had 5 points, got fouled out of the game, only played 23 minutes. I think he's going to come out with a little bit of fire in his belly tonight, and I think that will be the difference. It won't surprise me, though. I'm like you. If Dallas wins, I'm not going to be surprised one bit.
It's a 50-50 game tonight. And Junior, you say the same thing. Heat close it out. Mavs force a game 7. Possible. I could see it going either way. There was so much happening tonight. I'm staying away from that game.
No, don't. Yeah, I'm not touching it.
No. I think the Heat are going to win. That Suns Mavericks that's a different story. I don't know. All right, the other 2 game 6 is Celtics and the Bucks. Boy, the Celtics go on the road. They get that series evened up, get that big win, and then they blow it and they lose game 5. Now Milwaukee could close them out. I kind of think Milwaukee's going to do it now.
I do too. I think the Celtics lost their series last night.
Yeah.
That's a heartbreaker. They led the whole game.
Yep.
And it was going perfect for me. The spread was too much. It was 5.5. And so I had Milwaukee plus 5.5, but I picked the Celtics to win on the money line. And I'm sitting there going, I've got it. It kept going, got down there. It was like 2 points, 3 points, 4. Boston was ahead.
Yeah.
And I didn't think ever they were going to lose. And then boom, lost it right there at the bat. I still got the plus 5.5, but I missed on the money line. So, it just screwed up the whole thing when I had it all bet there. It was all working out. And I've been hitting the NBA so bad. So that's probably going to start a losing streak for me. I can just feel it. I was rolling. I had that one going. And then what in the hell happened in Memphis? Memphis is playing better without Morant in the lineup.
I know.
And is that going to continue? I mean, they absolutely beat the crap out of Golden State last night and almost beat them in San Francisco in game 4. So are they better without him? Do the other players step up and play so much better? I don't know. I was shocked. Absolutely shocked.
I couldn't explain that one to you.
No.
I don't think it's going to happen again, but I couldn't explain it to you.
I don't think it is either. I mean, I'm as big a Morant fan as there is. I do think he tries to do too much, and I do think he shoots too much, and I do think when he's on the floor, the other Grizzly players just stand around and watch him. And now the rest of them are having to step up, and maybe that's made a difference. I don't know. And he's not real good on defense, so they might be a lot better defensively. Now, the other thing with the Warriors are they're shooting terrible, just terrible. When they don't hit that 3-point shot, they're not as good because that's their game. So they've taken them out of their game without Morant on the floor. Can they keep doing this? I am just shocked. I am totally shocked.
I'm afraid it's coming to an end for the Grizzlies. I just don't see them going to Golden State and winning.
I don't either, but man, after watching most of that first half last night, God, that was awful.
See, that was my secret for baseball. Don't watch the games.
Yeah.
Just look at the stats. There's no way they're going to win. So
I don't know, but the NBA has been fantastic, and this is the first year I've watched it a lot, and it's been really good. And the finals are going to be unbelievable. Eastern Conference Final, whatever the teams are, is going to be fabulous, and so is the other one.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Bucks Heat, will be great. I think that's what it's going to be. And if it's Warriors Suns, I mean, that's just the dream series, right?
Yeah. Shoot out all over the place, probably.
Yeah, so it'll be great. It'll be great. I think that's what it'll be. Although there's still a long way to go, right?
Yep, it's been fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. We've done it. We've come to the end of our road. Let's see. Let me pull this out of here. What else? You got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I'm still just shocked that came out. It made the whole show. It just made the whole thing roll. It was
pretty funny. Yeah, we had this. Okay, got this all planned. Here's what we're gonna do. Blah blah blah. And then
first person in the chat.
Literally one of the first people in the chat. We're like, hey, by the way, he's out.
Yeah.
Really? Of course, you talk about conspiracy theories, and my text chains are blowing up right now.
Okay.
He'll never run again. He's hurt. It's all, but
Oh, so you've got all kinds of stuff going on there, do you?
People feel strongly about this horse. See, I guess I'm in the minority. I just don't care one way or another. It's just like,
well, I wished he was running for interest.
I wish he was running, but I'm not upset that he to the point where I hate everybody that he's not.
No, and there's a reason, and Patricia knows these owners better than anybody, and she says they are legit. So I'm going to go with her. They just don't feel like the horse came back right, then it's ready to run. Or
there's no reason for any kind of conspiracy.
No. What would the conspiracy be? The test came back and he passed the test.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's just they don't want to run. I mean, now he could have a little something wrong with him, a little injury here and there, but past that, there's nothing to it. They just,
I think if he was hurt, if there was a little injury, like or he spiked a fever or whatever, he didn't come out of it well, they'd say it.
Well,
why would they not?
Okay, he galloped over 2 miles yesterday.
Oh, well, he's not hurt.
So I don't think he's hurt unless he came out of that gallop and he's not feeling the greatest. Or
now, is that a lot?
No, that's what they do.
They send him out there
take a couple laps around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's no big deal. But anyway, whatever.
I just think they've decided he's just this is not his training regimen. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I'm going with that because the easier if the horse is injured, okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say it?
Well, yeah.
And there are no conspiracy theories,
Yeah. Exactly. If the horse is injured, then you certainly would say it. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
And this is, owner said the Preakness wasn't in the plan unless he didn't run in the Derby, and that they want to keep him on a 5-6 week rest schedule. Well, there's really no reason
No,
to believe that's
only
not the
thing
case.
is, why did they wait till Thursday to not run him? So obviously they've worked him out a couple of times and they've decided he's not doing as well as he needs to be doing. Right?
Clearly, he didn't come out of the race the greatest.
No, and
Like,
I'm
not
waited.
talking about injury. I'm talking about he's probably not showing the signs of a horse that's ready to run again.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
And that's why they've waited till today. That and they wanted to break the news during our show.
Right. Yes. Or as Russ says, maybe he was suspended for biting the outrider.
Maybe the outrider hurt him when he hit him.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't start that rumor.
That's going to be the next one. Well, he shouldn't have hit that horse. He'd have been fine if he hadn't hit him.
Got a breathing issue for getting bopped on the nose.
Oh Lord, I've just opened up a whole can of worms right there.
Yeah, I'm glad there's. I'm not saying that again out loud.
Oh my goodness.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things. It happens. It happens, folks. We'll be all right. We'll all be excited. We'll all be here next Saturday, huddled around the screens watching. So don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's going to be it for us. Hopefully the Blues win tonight.
I hope so.
We'll be back here on Monday, and we will either have no hockey team left, or we'll be talking about the second round. So that's the long and short of it. They lose tonight. They'll play Game 7 on Saturday, and then we'll see.
Do you know if that's an afternoon game or a night game?
They have not announced the time. They're waiting to see how many games they have.
Okay.
So yeah, I would guess we're going to get an earlier start time to that one.
Well,
so,
I would hope.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to be out here today. Let's see, about 2.5, 3 hours away from the Magic Mike show. They're going to be covering the Belmont Park late pick 4, and it is a doozy. Belmont is back. Naira is back. Wow, they've got a great card. This Belmont meet really starts to heat up now that the Derby's out of the way. So check that out. And then later on tonight, after that one, we'll be back with Blinkers Off, and I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot about that Belmont card as well. Plus, I'm sure both shows will mention Rich Strike. This will not be the only one. So.
I kind of think that might be the topic.
Oh boy! Just when I thought we were done.
Hey, when is Blinkers Off? Around 7 tonight?
Yeah, probably about 7 o'clock.
Oh my God, there'll be all kinds of theories. So.
Oh my God, by 7 tonight, who knows what could be? And thank you as well, JR. It's great to be a small part of the show. You're a large part of the show, not just
you bet.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's why we kind of tell you we had so many people today. I couldn't get all the comments, but we usually try to get as many comments as we can up on the screen and discuss them.
I just missed this one by Russ. He said Rich Strike is in concussion protocol.
Oh, there you go. All right, Russ.
He's got an upper body injury.
All right, Russ. Here's what I'm going to do. And listen, Jared doesn't listen to this show, so he won't know. Nobody tell him if you're listening. Do not tell Jared. He's going to kick it to me. I know it's going to happen. Thoughts on Rich Strike. And I'm going to have my phone. I'll act like I'm reading it. Say, I actually just got word on what it is. He's in concussion protocol after the damage done to the strike to his head by the outrider. And I'll say it just as serious as a heart attack. We'll see if Jared actually believes it or how he reacts to it. So that's challenge accepted, Russ. You didn't even challenge me.
Oh, that is fantastic.
What I'm going to do. And you guys know I can act serious. So
I think he's going to laugh.
I think he's going to go, really? Yeah, I remember he's been with these kids 4 straight days. His mind it's not right now.
I didn't know that. Okay. That's funny.
All right, we're getting off here, guys. Yeah, I'll do it. Don't worry. It's in the bag. All right, guys. We're going to get out. Stay tuned all day. We're here sometime or another. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
This has been a presentation of RacingDudes.com, your destination for all things horse racing and sports betting. Whether you want free winners, expert insider picks, up-to-the-minute trackside weather reports, or podcasts and videos for bettors of all skill levels. Never make another wager without visiting the Racing Dudes. First,